Lines. Chapter 1. Start. Well, this is the place George Piggy was last seen. Player. Footstep. W. What was that sound? Player. Oink, and bat hits you, you get dizzy and fell to the ground as Piggy takes you in her house. Later, oh no, I've got to get out of here. Ending. When you escaped, what in the world was that thing? It looked so familiar, yet I've never seen anything like it before. Not to mention the fact that it tried to attack me. I need to go get some help from the station. Player goes back to his police car and drives to the station. Chapter 2. Start. Hello? Is anyone here at the station? Player. In speaker attention. A monster is at the station. Get to the garage now. Doggy. Later, another monster? I got to get to the garage. Player, and you don't really remember how to get the door open due to the fact that mother has locked the door and taken the fuel. When escape opened, hurry. Get some gas. Doggy. Ending. Car moving on the road. Place George Piggy was last seen. Player. Footstep. Ending. Ending. Car moving on the road. When escape open. Get to the garage now. Doggy. Later, another monster? I got to get to the garage. Player, and you don't really remember how to get the door open due. Get to the garage now. Piggy the entire story in Roblox. Piggy the entire story in Roblox game. Lines. Chapter 1. Start. Well, this is the place George Piggy was last seen. Player. Footstep. W. What was that sound? Player. Oink, and bat hits you, you get dizzy and fell to the ground as Piggy takes you in her house. Later, oh no, I've got to get out of here. Ending. When you escaped, what in the world was that thing? It looked so familiar, yet I've never seen anything like it before. Not to mention the fact that it tried to attack me. I need to go get some help from the station. Player goes back to his police car and drives to the station. Chapter 2. Start. Hello? Is anyone here at the station? Player. In speaker attention. A monster is at the station. Get to the garage now. Doggy. Later, another monster? I got to get to the garage. Player, and you don't really remember how to get the door open due to the fact that mother has locked the door and taken the fuel. When escape opened, hurry. Get some gas. Doggy. Ending. Car moving on the road. You're lucky I showed up on my day off. Doggy. And you're lucky I brought gas. Doggy. Player. Touché. Player name. Doggy. Man, we seriously need to find out what's going on. Doggy. I know, I've started to see these things all over the place. Player. We need to find out what caused this. You haven't lost your past detective skills, have you? Doggy. I hope not. I think I could use them better now than ever before. Player. Hey, player name. Doggy. Yeah, Doggy? Player. How much gas was in that can you gave? Doggy. Chapter 3. Start. We're out of gas and completely surrounded. Doggy. Looks like we'll have to go through the gallery. Player. Later, some of those monsters look familiar. Player. Ending. They just don't stop coming after us, do they? Player. I don't get it. But hey, it's nothing we can't handle. Doggy. After all, remember when we made that arrest in the alley, way before this? Doggy. Yeah, but we weren't arresting these things. They don't do anything but attack us. Player. Listen, player name. Even in desperate times, you held on to your morality. Doggy. It's the people like you that succeed. As long as you stay who you are, You'll get to where you need to be. Doggy. You're right, Doggy. I can't let this situation make me lose sight of who I am. Player. Good. Now let's find someplace safe. We'll have time to think of what to do. Doggy. Sounds like a plan. Player. Player walks away with Doggy. Warning. Spoilers. This page contains spoilers, so read with caution. Story. Chapter 1, House. Beginning. The player, who is a police officer, is searching for Georgie Piggy after he went missing in the house. Piggy creeps behind the player and hits them with a bat, then the player wakes up in a bedroom. Ending. The player manages to escape the house and drives to the closest police station. Chapter 2, Station. Beginning. After making it to the station, the speaker goes off. Attention! A monster is in the station. Get to the garage. From there the player must open up the garage. Ending. The player meets Doggy, a police officer. They escape by driving out of the station and into the city. Chapter 3, Gallery. Beginning. After running out of gas and being completely surrounded by monsters, the player and Doggy flee into the nearby gallery. Piggy follows them inside. Ending. The player and Doggy escape the gallery and run off into the wild, hoping that the monsters won't follow them. Chapter 4, Forest. Beginning. 4 weeks later, the player and Doggy are staying at a camping ground. Doggy tells the player to go to sleep. While the player is sleeping, 3 sounds play. Doggy barking, a gulping sound, and the sound of glass breaking is heard. The player wakes up to see that Doggy has become a monster. Ending. The player ends up escaping Piggy and Doggy. Before they leave, though, a walkie-talkie goes off. Hello, can anyone hear me? Chapter 5, School. Beginning. The player ends up taking the walkie-talkie. The person behind the communications reveals himself to be Mr. P. He tells the player about a friend who is stuck in a school, and when they save her they should meet him in the sewer. The player meets Bunny, who, by using a crossbow and requires a carrot for food, can knock out Piggy. The player and Bunny go to the sewer and meet Mr. P. Ending. When the player and Bunny arrive they meet up with Mr. P. The player doesn't feel good and they black out, the cutscene ending with the player in a hospital. Doggy is seen as a hallucination looking at the player. Chapter 6, Hospital. Beginning. The player wakes up to see Bunny beside them. Bunny tells the player it's not safe and Mr. P is waiting for them on the roof. Ending. The player and Bunny make it up to the roof to find out Mr. P has left, leaving everyone behind in the process. Chapter 7, Metro. Beginning. The player and Bunny fell into the metro. Bunny starts feeling tired so they stop. Bunny rests while the player tries to get the train operating. Ending. The player successfully operates the train in the metro. However, Bunny reveals that she has drank a potion given by Mr. P, and she could possibly turn into a monster. This happened to Doggy but off-screen. The player doesn't care, but Bunny insists on leaving her behind. As this happens, you hear the Bunny theme song played when the monster is near you. Chapter 8, Carnival. Beginning. After getting off of the train the player goes off into Mr. P's amusement park searching for him. Ending. The player flees to the exit and finds Pony and Zizzy, who then tell the player that they have a safe place to stay. When Foxy comes from the back, but Pony stuns him and they escape. Chapter 9, City. Beginning. Zizzy and Pony show the player where the safe house is, but they have to turn off the defenses to get in. Ending. The player, Zizzy, and Pony make it past the defenses and explain their backstories. A strange noise comes from the dumpster. The player and Zizzy go to investigate the noise. Chapter 10, Mall. Beginning. The thing hiding behind the dumpster runs off and into the nearby mall. While there, Zizzy and the player meets a robot piggy named Robbie. Ending. The player and Zizzy manage to get through the room where it was hiding. It ends up being Georgie Piggy, the character who disappeared in Chapter 1. The player and Zizzy bring George to the safe house and meet up with the other survivors. Then Z reveals that you are a human indeed by saying, "Player's name looks funny." Pony then say they found a helicopter signal nearby, telling you Mr. P is nearby since you last saw him escaping from a helicopter. Chapter 11, Outpost. Beginning. Pony, Zizzy, and the player find the outpost where the helicopter signal was discovered. Ending. Before the player, Pony, and Zizzy head into a building to find Mr. P, Georgie Piggy shows up, and a huge crowd of soldier piggies follows behind him. Pony and Zizzy defend the building while the player and Georgie Piggy head into the building, only to discover that Mr. P has been turned into a cyborg. Bonus chapter, Distorted Memory. In this chapter, the player plays as Georgie Piggy. In his memory. Beginning. Georgie Piggy wakes up from a nightmare. When he asks his sister something, but realizes that she is missing, he searches for her in a memorial version of his house. Ending. Georgie Piggy saw Penny Pig, his sister, and called out to her. However, she didn't turn back and walked away. Georgie falls to the floor, saying he doesn't feel too well, and his eyes glow red. Suddenly he wakes up in the room where he was found in the mall, revealing that the past events were all his nightmare. Chapter 12, Plant. Beginning. Mr. P believes the player and Georgie Piggy are his memories coming back to haunt him, so he tries shooting the player with his arm that has a gun on it. The player now has to prove to Mr. P that you and Georgie Piggy are real. Ending. The player places dynamite in the center of the power plant. When it explodes, the hallways of the chapter change into different locations from different chapters. Now the player has to get a picture of Miss P and bring it to Mr. P. Afterwards, Mr. P realizes that the player and Georgie Piggy are real. The player then has two choices: leave Mr. P behind, or help him. Good ending. The player and Georgie leave Mr. P behind and meet up with Zizzy and Pony, who survive the huge wave of soldiers. They all start looking for a cure. Bad ending. The player tries to help Mr. P, but gets killed by infected Bad G. True ending. The player runs to Mr. P. I want to tell you my story, but you wouldn't believe me, says Mr. P. The player asks Mr. P to tell them the story. Mr. P explains how he tried to help his wife, Miss P. He went to the hospital to help cure illness. A sample of the cure, substance 128, was unstable, but Mr. P didn't listen, and gave it to the Piggy family except Georgie, who volunteered as test subjects. The results came. It showed that they were getting stronger. After hearing about the results, Mr. P gave the substance 128 to Miss P. The side effects of substance 128 caused the Piggy family to become hostile, but Mr. thought it had nothing to do with the cure. Miss P eventually started to become hostile too, and the last time he saw her she had red glowing eyes, Mr. P said at the end of the story. The player and George Piggy then leave Mr. P behind and the good ending cutscene starts playing. Type, paste, and edit text here. Natural Reader is a professional text-to-speech program that converts any written text into spoken words. The paid versions of Natural Reader have many more features. If you are interested in using our voices for non-personal use such as for YouTube videos, e-learning, or other commercial or public purposes, please check out our Natural Reader commercial web application.